Welcome to The Spot, the official podcast of the Protein Spot. We're more than just a meal prep cafe. Our mission is to make healthy, balanced nutrition as simple and convenient and affordable as fast food without sacrificing quality. We use real ingredients, create meals, coffee, and protein shakes that fuel your active lifestyle, whether you're an athlete, a busy parent, or just someone who wants to feel their best. On this podcast, we'll share our story, talk about the business behind building a healthier food culture, dive into practical nutrition education, and bring on athletes and experts to inspire and motivate you on your own journey. At the end of the day, it's all about building community and helping you fuel your goals, one conversation and one meal at a time. This is the Spot Podcast. Let's get started. All right, so today on the episode today, this what episode is this, Alex? 6? 7? Episode 6.
6, 7.
Episode 6.
Oh my God.
I started my career as a wannabe personal trainer. It was never much of a good one. So I wanted to talk to some good personal trainers. So we found the two best personal trainers in the Valley that we could possibly think of. Chris, who, you're not even really, I met you from Casual.
Yeah.
I met you because you run the best Hyrox classes in the Valley.
Right on.
And, but you're all over. Kendra, I met you through the Boise Fit Collective and Casual.
Yeah.
Shout out, Brian.
Yeah.
But wanted to talk to the best personal trainers in the Valley. So we got the best male, best female coaches we could find, and we're going to chop it up today. So why don't you give a little bit of an intro about yourself? Ladies first. Kendra, you're going to go first. Tell the people who you are, where you're from, what do you do, and what's the biggest conspiracy theory that you believe in?
Oh, God. Okay. My name is Kendra. I started into fitness myself about 10 years ago now. I was just at a low place in my life in college. I was drinking all the time, partying all the time, really bad mental space, and the gym kind of pulled me out of that. I started CrossFit, and then I hired a personal trainer, and I was in school, had no idea what the hell I wanted to do with my life, but I loved working out. I loved going to the gym, and so I just kind of decided to turn that into work, and I've been doing it now full time for, I think, about 5 years. And right now I'm trying to lean into more of the online space, which is, a new transition from training people in person. My conspiracy theory that I believe.
We need to make a mic adjustment. So sorry.
Mic adjustment.
So.
Am I too far away?
Yeah, but you're good to do that. You can grab this handle. You can literally pull it forward.
I need to be doing Chris's.
Told you.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then same
Hang
thing for
loose,
you.
baby.
Yeah.
Girls always think it's a lot further than it is.
Yeah, and if you just went 2 meters.
There we go.
Okay.
But yeah, you guys can grab onto the thing and push it forward and back if you want to sit forward and back. Totally.
Okay.
Sorry, good job, guys.
No, that was
Oh,
good.
you're
Edit. Yeah, we'll chop it up. All right.
Conspiracy theory that I believe in.
Biggest one. Just
that,
to piggyback.
that we didn't land on the moon.
Oh, man.
I completely agree with that one.
You agree that we didn't land on the moon?
Big facts. There's no shot.
All right.
Yeah, I think it's a load of
It's a load of
doo-doo.
baloney.
Maybe we will get into that. I don't want to chase that right now, but I also that's a deeply fascinating conversation. So that's a good one though. All right, Chris.
All right. My name's Chris. I've been a trainer for a little over 11 years now. From San Francisco. Well, the city right below San Francisco. Not many people know it, so I'm not gonna name that city.
It's like a hometown shout out.
Sure. Daly City, California.
Yeah.
Shout out 650.
You really are a POC.
Yeah. It's Little Manila. Yeah. A lot of Filipinos. People think I'm Filipino, but I'm not. But I equal it. I'm Chinese and Nicaraguan. Shout out Theo Vaughn. Yeah.
I'll let you drop that. I'm keeping it out.
There we go. So with my little background, I was always banged up a lot in high school, and so with me having so many injuries, I had a lot of concussions, had a really bad injury where
Sports related?
yes, all sports related.
Nice.
Had a bad injury where I got hit in the sternum and it gave me whiplash in my neck, where it literally got me paralyzed in my fingers, so I couldn't literally do this
Holy
for
smokes.
2 months. And it was kind of brutal. And I had minimal sensation. And then so I saw a chiropractor for it. And then also being in the athletic trainer office, it got me interested in the whole wellness space or the rehab side of things. So that's where for me, I I knew exactly what I wanted to get into, something in that like realm, whether if it was physical therapy, sports med, and the fastest route I could think of was personal training, of getting some experience with that. And then with like my schooling from my bachelor's degree and my master's now, I just been, I actually genuinely love personal training, because like the conversation we had last night where if we had like a better understanding of trainers and like their role, we would be saving a lot more lives.
Yeah.
And that's what I firmly believe. But going off that, like my biggest conspiracy is that I think we are in a simulation.
Oh.
The Matrix.
I think
like Truman Show?
Sometimes I see stuff and I'm like, it's a little fishy.
I think we are in like a simulation, because I think it's like crazy with like the whole like Simpsons thing. It's like how they're able to like somehow predict. Like if you were to like look at some of like their episodes.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen all that.
It's crazy.
I also just started seeing someone say though that it's not because they're guessing things, it's because that show is like run by a lot of the people involved in the stuff that's going on. So it's like them actually just exposing things that they're doing, like their plans.
Yeah. So I'm gonna piggyback on that. Here's the thing. The entire point of this podcast is to talk about personal training, because what you said, I fully agree with, which is I remember as like when I first got started in personal training, there was like this mindset shift for me that changed it a lot, which is like I stopped like, I think personal training had such a bad rap, like personal trainers in particular had a bad rap as like a joke of a career. And I started looking at personal training. I met with some really good trainers, and we started talking about how personal trainers really should be part of like the healthcare continuum. And I remember like my education and the time that I spent on that was really built around that idea of like personal trainers should be valued just as much as any part of a healthcare worker. And it's so obvious that the society we live in don't view it that way, because when COVID happened, we weren't essential. We were the first thing that got shut down. Gyms were the first thing that got shut down. Yeah. So so society told you right then where they place you in that realm of things. Weed stores, liquor stores, essential.
McDonald's.
McDonald's, essential. Personal trainers,
we were like bottom
down.
tier for sure.
The first thing shut down. And in California, you were shut down for 2 years, gyms. So we'll get into that. And then we can have some degenerate conversation around conspiracy theories. Because while I don't think we live in a simulation, I do very much believe in the power of manifestation and the power of like energy that you put out into the universe and like it coming back. And so I think what happens in those situations is if enough people put their energy into believing that the future has a specific outcome, that they manifest that outcome, which is somewhat simulation theory. Yeah. In a way.
Yeah.
I guess we should probably be productive with our conversation first and then turn it degenerate. Let's see, what's the timestamp? Well, let's talk about personal training, guys. That's one that's like near and dear to my heart, right? I started as a personal trainer, and I think we had some really good conversation around it last night. But if anyone could take anything from this podcast, my belief is that if there was one investment that you could make in your health and wellness, it would be to hire a good personal trainer. That is the number one thing that you can do. But on average of people who actually get into fitness or get a gym membership in general, only about 3 to 4% actually invest in a personal trainer. And so there's this huge disconnect between the value associated and the impact that it can have. And so I wanted to give a platform to coaches that like I believed in to be like, let's chop that up. Like why is that happening? What can we do about it? And if people are genuinely interested in trying to go about making changes and need a coach, what should they look for in a trainer? What should they stay away from, et cetera? So let's chop it up.
Yeah. I think with like the stigma where people have a hard time with trainers is the societal aspect of thinking like, oh, like they just want to count your reps. They're like do like these like little check-ins like once a week or these small little things. But yes, we do that. But then with an actual like, quality coach, you want to think of it as someone that's going to keep you accountable on the things you do on a daily like for your daily activities, whether if it's like how much steps you're getting in a day, something as simple as that, or it's like how much sunlight you're getting. like are being actually in tune with your body throughout the day rather than just going like, oh, like I have scrambling here, scrambling there. It's like everyone's life is hectic to some degree, which that's the empathy aspect of like knowing how everyone's life is different. And I think that's where coaches have like such a strong, that can bring a strong value to someone's life because it can help with structuring your day, where it's like a little more simplified.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that coaching, a lot of people see it as something that's not very valuable, especially with social media. They're like, oh, I can just go online and find someone doing a leg workout and I can just copy that. And I think that people that haven't experienced personal training, or at least good personal training, they don't understand everything that comes with it. You know, you're having a coach that's putting a structure for you to obviously see the results you want to see, but it's also about the mindset and the lifestyle that you're building. Like for me, the reason that I became so addicted to fitness and health, it's not because it made me look a certain way. It's because of how it changed my life mentally, and having someone there to help you through that process when you're starting out is really huge. Because the big hurdle for most people is that they're not just going to go do that on their own. Like you need some sort of support system, a structure, someone experienced to help you realize what you're missing and what you can do better at, and having someone push you. And I think that something that a good coach provides for you is that structure of changing the mindset that you have, helping you with your daily habits. Like these are all things that trickle out into your entire life, not just the program that you're doing at the gym. And I think that that's where people really miss out if they decide not to get a trainer.
Yeah. I think you're nailing on a lot of good things. I think we have a couple of things that are against us when it comes to like being considered part of, and I say us, like I still consider myself, I was a trainer, like my certification lapsed in like 2017. I don't remember the last time. Right. So I don't actively use it. So I'll try to use past tense language. But when I was a trainer, and when I look at personal training as an industry, I think you have a couple of things that are against you. Number one, I think anytime the barrier of entry is low, you invite a lot of shenanigans. And I think that like there's literally, I love CrossFit. So I'll say that. Like I think there's a lot of good that comes with CrossFit. But when CrossFit first got started, it was like you could go to this weekend course for like 2 days. Yeah. And all of a sudden you were like a level 1 CrossFit coach because you spent 2 days in a classroom looking at a whiteboard. And you like did some things with a PVC pipe, right? Yeah. And it's like there's literally, you can go online and you can pay like $50 and take this like non-accredited personal training course that like asks you a couple of open book questions that you can Google while you're taking it. And all of a sudden you get this pretty little plaque in the mail that says that you are a quote unquote certified personal trainer, right? Or you look at gym chains like Planet Fitness or some of these like big name boxes, and they hire people who aren't certified, have no national accreditation, and they slap them a t-shirt on that says personal trainer. And the level of education involved is so low that I think that starts to be what people think of. And again, like a glorified rep counter, right? Yeah. They've never experienced working with someone who spent years and years and years building that education base, understanding from a scientific aspect what it takes to actually make changes to the human body. But the other piece of that is like, I always talk to coaches about the difference between being a good personal trainer and a great coach. Is a personal trainer matters for 30 minutes or an hour during your workout. A great coach matters the other 23 hours of the day.
100%.
And it's putting that whole picture together that makes the difference.
Yeah.
And I think going off that, like, just like in any industry, like you kind of have to start somewhere. And like, I look back at my experience. I started off as a trainer at 18 years old, like just straight out of high school. And looking back, like to now, I'm like, there's no way in hell would have, if I was a client, would I would hired me, like in my 0 to 3 years of training. Like my very, very first client had a pacemaker in her heart. And I think this is where, like, as like a young trainer, this is like for any trainer that's out there that's brand new, is you can start out, get a client, but are you willing to actually learn and educate yourself on a specific topic of what's going on with your client? And I think that's where, for me, like I did a good job of that. So I'm giving myself a pat on the back because I wanted to learn more. of like, how can I help this person? I think that's where it goes off of like what you were saying, where a good trainer is like good for that 30 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
But it's like a good coach is caring more about that 23 hours. So I think that's where it's like, how can you transition into knowing how this person can benefit from your training and also your coaching for the other 23 hours?
Yeah. I think like going off of that, like a good coach is someone that if you're confronted with a client or a problem that you don't know, they can say, I don't know, but I'm going to find out. And I think that a lot of trainers don't have that mentality. You know, a lot of people become a trainer because they think it's going to be an easy job. They can control their schedule. They can do whatever they want. And then that's where you see a lot of people that hire a personal trainer and maybe they don't see results, or maybe they have a bad experience because their trainer's there to clock into an hour of training and then that's it. And I think when you get into coaching because you want to actually help people and you want to coach people, not because you just want the freedoms of it, I think you just look at it with a different mentality and you want to find out all the answers because you want to help all of the different people that are going to come to you. Because at the end of the day, when you're a coach, no two clients are ever going to have the same things going on, and you have to be able to shift and adjust, and like the education never stops. Like if you're a coach and you decide like, oh, I know everything that I need to know, and you stop learning new things, that's also like the ceiling of your career and what you can do and how much you can help people.
Yeah, I think like if you're someone who's looking to make positive health changes and maybe you don't know where to start or you failed in the past, getting a personal trainer is the number one investment that you could make that would actually make a difference. Sure. Don't spend a dime on supplements. Don't spend a dime on meal plan, diet. Don't buy a program. Hire a personal trainer. A good one's going to cost you a few $100s a month, right?
Yeah.
Make that investment and it'll change your life. But for coaches, we've spent a ton of time in the industry. We know the real ones, right? You can spot them from a mile away and you know it when you see it. But if you're a consumer or you're looking for if you're someone who's new or looking to get with a personal trainer, right? I don't think it's that obvious. Yeah. So like, what are the things that people should look for in a personal trainer, right? Like tangible, intangible. Like if your mom was going to hire a personal trainer, what are you telling her to look for?
Yeah.
Are you asking a question?
Yeah.
Oh. I would say a big one. So for example, if it's my mom, first thing I'm looking at is, excuse my French, but do they actually give a shit?
Yeah, that's fair.
And it's like, one thing I see like on Instagram a lot is with some coaches is they post a lot more about like their own workouts, which is great. But I think one thing that they don't do is show like, why is like a certain exercise beneficial, or why is a specific, like, why is this meal quote unquote better than this meal? It's like, I want to know the whys of what you're doing rather than just the whats. And I think that's like the big thing is, or does this person actually care about wanting to inform people? Mm-hmm. And for me, that's like the first thing I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a big one for me with social media, because like when I started my fitness journey before I became a coach and I was just looking to get into the gym, the first thing I did was hire a coach online to write a program and a meal plan for me so that I could have structure. And I did a lot of research before I picked a coach, and I picked one that helped me a lot. But I think that like one of the big things I looked for was like their own clients' progress and like real stories from other people. I think that having evidence that their coaching works, is really big, because a lot of people, a lot of influencers that are quote unquote coaches that sell programs or sell training, you get online, you don't see any of their clients' things. And some people don't like to post their clients. I honestly don't post a lot of my clients on my Instagram because that's like personal stuff that I don't always want to share, and some people aren't comfortable with that. But I also, when I bring a client on, I share those things with them, or when I'm interviewing them, because I want them to see what my clients are really doing, what kind of progress they've had, what they've been dealing with. And I think that a lot of people just see, someone that looks good online that sells a coaching program. Or I also think I think that programs have a place in the fitness community. Not everyone can always afford to have one-on-one coach, or some people just need a structure. They've already had the experience of training, but they just need to continue with a structure because they don't know how to write a program. But I also think that if that's all they're selling, they probably aren't a very good coach, because if you are just having one generic plan that's all you give out to people, then you know how to structure a plan, you know how to coach someone. Those are very different things. And you have to kind of look at it as, am I the ideal client for that program? Am I actually going to get the same results that they're promising? Because the chances are 9 times out of 10, you're not.
Yeah. Well, I think like education is a foot in the door. Like, I think going back to that point, like you should check does this person have that education background? That should be like the first thing.
And
right?
check what type of, like you said, a lot of people have a certification, but a lot of people don't know what are the good certifications, because not everyone has, like, I don't have my degree.
Right.
But I have my certification, and I've done education. To continue that, you have to do education every year, and you also get that from experience. But I think making sure that the certification someone has is actually like an accredited, like good place.
Yeah. Like, do you have but that's the first foot is, do you have a nationally accredited certification? Yeah. That should be like the first thing. But to that point, I feel like in my career as a trainer, I learned 10% of my knowledge base from that actual certification. It was everything I did after. It was the CECs. It was all my own reading. It was social proof, all those things. Yep. But so I would say education, one, to your point, they should have client testimonials, but way above that, you should have references.
Yeah.
Like,
huge.
Some coaches aren't going to post all of their clients before and afters. Yeah. Find a coach and ask for a reference. Like, they should be able to give you some references and say, like, here's some people that you can reach out to that I've worked with before. Yeah. Because anyone, like, in today's digital age, anyone can make fake before and after pictures and stick those on Instagram.
Scary.
Yeah. It's wild.
I always forget about, I know a lot of people do that, just like people Photoshop their stuff, but it's just never something I would ever think to do. So I would just never even think about that.
But I've even seen trainers online get called out for using other trainers.
I was literally going to mention that. Yeah.
That's
which
insane.
is, that part of it's crazy.
Which
do
is
people
wild.
not get embarrassed? I don't understand.
And I was just going to say the other piece, like, kind of touching on that, when it comes to if they sit down to write a program, or they're going to take you on as a client, if they're not asking you 15, 20 questions about who you are, what you're doing, what your goals are, all that, before they offer to take you on as a client, they are a terrible coach. I'm going to say that for sure. Yeah. Because they're just taking money to write some chat GPT program or something like that.
Exactly.
Because if they're not qualifying you based on what your current exercise level is, what is your, obviously goal, right? But like in depth, not just like, oh, I want to lose weight. No, like, how much weight do you want to lose? When do you want to lose it by? If anything that's especially motivating? What lifestyle factors do you have? Are there any contraindications I should be aware of? Like, there should be this plethora of qualifying questions before I ever agree to take someone on as a client.
Oh yeah, it's like an interview, pretty
Absolutely.
much. Yeah.
Because as a coach, like, if you're a good coach, you're willing to turn down a client that doesn't fit.
Oh yeah.
If they're not willing to make the changes, or they're not willing to do the things that you're asking them to do, a good coach will fire a bad client just as quick as the other way around.
Yeah.
And so that would be another one too, is like, how much are they actually, I think that goes back to the giving a shit, is like, how much are they actually digging in?
Yeah.
Because
do
are they just
know
gonna,
anything about you?
Yeah. Are they just going to write you a chat GPT program and hand it over? Because if so, they can get replaced by $20 a month. Right.
Yeah.
But it's like, how much are they actually trying to figure out?
Yeah. And going off of that, I think because what I do with my clients, I like to tell them, you don't have to stick with me for longer than 6 months. If you want to, that's great, but you don't have to. And the reason for that is I want you to ask me as many questions as possible during our training, so that way I feel confident that you can do this shit on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people just get like this program, or they just go with the trainer, they just get like the specific workout plan. It's like, no, that's stuff outside of just this little realm of exercises. Yes, we can improve progressive overload, all that good stuff. But it's like, okay, if your shoulder feels a little tight, how can you get some better mobility out of that?
Yeah.
Or it's like, hey, my knee's kind of hurting. What should I do? Stuff like that.
I think a big thing for me, as a consumer, if you're looking for a coach, I think that one thing you should do is always reach out to them and ask them questions before you just sign up. I think that their responses will give you a good idea of what the communication and kind of like what their style is if they're going to be a coach for you. I also think that you should look at how they view their work and what their goal is for you. If you're interviewing a coach and you are someone who is really unmotivated, hates working out, you have a lot of things you need to change, and their only goal is the physical, well, if you follow my program for 8 weeks, you're going to lose weight and you're going to look great. Don't hire that coach. You need to hire a coach that's going to say, I want to figure out how we can change your mindset so that when you don't see me after this 8 weeks, you're going to continue this and your life is going to change in a year. That's the kind of coach that you want to hire. And a lot of people hire these coaches that are like, you see all the clickbait stuff on social media that's like, give me 6 weeks and I'm going to, you're not going to change shit in 6 weeks. The coaches you see online that have the success that you want, whether it's in just physicality or how they view things mentally, their mindset, whatever it is, they've been doing this for years and years and years. And like the bottom line is a coach that doesn't tell you that's how long it's going to take is just trying to make money off of you.
And I think there's a balance. There's a balance there because for me as a coach, one of the best ways for me to indicate a client's long-term success and their stickiness was in the ability to get them results relatively quickly. As a coach, we should be able to get people to make the adjustments to start seeing progress relatively immediately in some term or another, right? Whatever you deem progress as. If your goal is to lose weight, I should be able to have you losing a pound or two a week by the second week. I should be able to get you progress relatively quickly. But if I'm promising you something that's outlandish, if it looks too good to be true,
it is.
I'm trying to get money out of you.
For sure.
If you're 30% body fat and I'm promising you abs in 6 weeks, that's like a 90s, 2000s, I remember all those 8-minute abs or like any of that kind of like scammy stuff. It's just like, if I'm not selling you, if my sales pitch as a good coach is probably like one of the most unsexy things because it's like, hey, this is going to take a while and you're going to have to change a lot of foundational habits and this is going to be a grind.
And going on that, like a lot of good coaching is very unsexy. Like we talked about like the clickbait stuff. Like people that usually do clickbait stuff are usually the coaches that like just want a quick buck out of you. Hey, like comment this and I'll send you a program. And a lot of times those people that have those like platforms, they have people under them that are already doing the coaching. They're just like
they're not doing anything.
They're just they're the face of it.
I'm not going to like go over any names with this obviously, but I actually had
call them out, Kendra.
I actually had a friend.
Name drop it.
This was a couple years ago. I had a friend buy a program from a coach that I actually know who is very I think she has like over 800,000 on
Say it with your
Instagram
chest
now. And I mean, I'll tell you later.
Okay.
You might. She's someone that blew up because she has a big booty. She looks good. She knows what angles to post. And every single one of her videos is some random glute movement with something that says, this is how I grew my glutes, whatever. So she blew up because she looks good. And my friend bought a program for her and had her eating 12. She was going from already under eating. She wanted to lose weight and she hadn't been working out. And she had her on a 5 or 6 day workout program eating 1,200 calories a day. And my friend was gaining weight. And she was like, I'm so confused. And I was like, well, you hired someone just because she looks good and has followers. And so I think that's another thing is like real good coaches, if you go look at their pages and what they're showing you, it's usually not going to be like super clickbaity. They're usually not doing super random weird things. Like it's the basics are what give you the most results. If she's showing you 55 different exercises for one muscle and they just look out of the, they're like, wow, this looks different. I've never seen this. If you've never seen it, it's probably because it doesn't actually work very well, but it looks sexy on social media because it's, it's fun to watch someone do something different.
I think like when it comes to health, like changes, like it's a bit, we talked about this last night. Like it's a big thing about the protein spot. Like we aren't trying to be overly flashy with food and things like that, right? Because it's the simple basics done consistently that stick. And it's like, if they're you should never make a lifestyle change to hit a goal that you can't see yourself sticking to for more than a month.
Yep.
Or
Agreed.
2 months.
Yeah.
It's
or
not
a year.
gonna, it's not going
right?
to last.
Yeah.
It's the things that you're still going to be doing 2 or 3 years from now that you should be buying into. It's like, it's doing the simple things consistently that you haven't done, which is why you're 30% body fat.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not because you did the wrong thing for 4 weeks. And now 4 weeks of doing the right thing is going to get you there. And I'm not saying you don't make like short sprints. Like we've all done like hardcore, calorie deficits because we have a trip coming up. We want to lean out a little faster, or, you change up your training cycle for a couple of weeks. Like that stuff's different. But like, are you really going to be working out 7 days a week a year from now?
Yeah.
No, then don't do it right now.
Exactly.
Right? Because you're not going to win this battle in 4 weeks. You're not going to lose this battle in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
If a trainer is selling you anything other than consistency and habits and doing the right things, they're just trying to sell you something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's where a lot of folks on social media, they try to thread the needle that way, where it's like this one big sexy program of like, oh, do my 6-week glute builder.
Yeah.
And it's like going off of something like, if it's someone brand new, sure, they're going to see like some sort of benefit because like that's what their body's going to get adapted to.
Yeah, you see the biggest jump when you first start out.
For 6 weeks, sure. Yeah, and then people are like, oh my God, this 6-week builder like did amazing things. Technically, if you really look at it, a 5-year-old could write up a workout program for someone brand new. If they did it for like 3 times a week, they can get it done. Yeah. But it's also like, it's more than just that, obviously.
And I think it's okay to like the difficulty with being a trainer or a coach in today's world is you have to lean into some of that bullshit to generate attention, right? Like we used to do it all the time. We would run a 6-week New Year challenge, right? That whether you like it or not, consumer interest around fitness and health peaks January, February. Yeah. And then it drops down and then it comes back up in June and July, right? There's cyclical nature to this. And as a coach, you have to lean into it a little bit. You do. I will absolutely. Yeah. I'm a big New Year's resolution person. I think you should do them, right? Like, because if it helps you get motivated to get started, you got to get started to go. Yeah. Like, if that's what helps get you going, then by all means, do a 6-week jump start. Do some kind of short-term thing. But understand the foundational habits aren't going to change.
Yeah. I also think like I'm a big fan of programs because I think that it makes things more accessible for people because I think like the reality is a good chunk of people can't afford to be paying hundreds of dollars a month to go to the gym and pay a personal trainer on top of that. So I do think that there is a place for programs. I write programs and I like to have programs available on my website for people that can't afford, a full-time personal trainer. But I also think that like a big kind of like sign when you're looking for someone who's writing a good program and a good coach is the honesty within the program, right? Like when I have a program available for purchase on my website, I also include something about progressive overload. It explains like what it's going to look like when you're done with this program. Like you can repeat this, but you're going to make these changes. Like there's somewhere to go. If there's somewhere to go after this and there's direction after, I think that that's good. But I think when it's just those kind of like, oh, all you have to do is my 6-week program and you're going to have a huge ass. Yeah. It's like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I think online training is like something that wasn't really accessible to me when I was starting as a trainer, right? Like 10 years ago, whatever, when I was really getting started as a personal trainer, it wasn't as common. Whereas now there's so many resources and tools available for coaches to work with people online. And I love that concept for people because a lot of people can't make a committed appointment to the gym every single week. They're flexible, their time schedules, right? Getting with I would rather have a good trainer that's coaching me online than go meet with a mediocre trainer at a big box gym once a week at this specific time. But like as an online coach, because both of you guys sell online coaching, like what do you think your responsibility is as a coach online? Like where do you sort of like, how do you take that from being a program to lifestyle adjustments? How do you bridge that gap when it's more of a virtual relationship?
A big thing for me is I have meetings with my clients every week, usually like through Zoom.
Like, okay.
Yeah. So like I want to sit face to face. I want to like have a real human interaction, because I think if you don't have that, it's really easy. Like even as a consumer, if I was doing that, if I don't have like a real person talking face to face, you kind of are like, I don't have to have the same responsibility to follow through with this. And I think another big thing, at least for me, is like I send out like a weekly kind of like habit tracker every single week, a little task for them to do throughout the week that I follow up with them on, so that it's some accountability. And I'm constantly checking in with them, you know, a couple times a week outside of those to see how they're doing. How is their meals going today? How is their workout? Like I'm keeping track of all that stuff, so that, you know, they're not getting through a week or a whole program just on their own. They know that there's going to be a coach checking in with them, keeping them consistent, seeing how things are going, making adjustments. Even though I can't be there with them through their whole workout, they know that there's going to be an accountability that they have to meet with me every week.
Yeah, and especially for me, like what I like to have is, obviously I can't see someone's form, so I try to make sure like, hey, like for your first like working set, or for your first warm-up set and your first working set, send me over those videos. I want to see how your form looks.
Yeah, I do that too.
And then it's like, if I'm able to see that, then I can make adjustments if needed. Like, oh, you have a little bit of a hip shift going this way. Let's kind of lighten the weight so that we can really focus on this movement. Let's slow down the tempo, stuff like that. And then kind of going off what she was saying, if someone, like, for example, hasn't been like doing their workouts for the week, and it's like week 1, I'm like, hey, let's hop on a call like 3 days in. Like, what's going on? Like, I know we're just excited about starting. Like, what's stopping you? Like, why haven't you done like a single, even like go for like a 30-minute walk? What's going on?
Yeah.
And I think that's where it's like when some trainers, when they see that, they're just like, it's fine. It's just week 1. It's like, no, like if you want to build those habits, we got to just do it now.
Yeah, you kind of have to nip it in the butt right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the number one thing that I think people get wrong when it comes to personal training, is like they think that hiring a coach is based on this idea of a transaction of knowledge, where it's like, you're going to teach me how to work out.
Yeah.
And okay, that's fair. Yes, I will. I'll give you some information and I'm going to have a knowledge transfer. But 90% of people don't need a specialized program.
No.
They need simple progressive overload. And it's not that complicated.
Yeah.
What they need is someone to hold their ass accountable.
Yeah.
100%.
And that's where a great coach comes in, because that's really what you're paying for when you hire a great coach, is you're paying for someone who expects more out of you than you expect of yourself.
Yeah.
Because you've tried and failed this thing so many times that when you start your diet on Monday, you're already in the back of your head knowing you're not going to stick to it. And you're already negotiating with that inner, I call it the inner bitch, right?
Yeah.
You're already negotiating with it. And there's actually so many studies that have been done from a psychological standpoint on this thing. The more promises you break to yourself, the easier it is to break it again.
For sure.
And if you're someone who struggled with like really sticking to your health and fitness goals and habits, however you want to chop it up, you're not going to stick to it by yourself. You're just not going to do it. You've got 20 years of being overweight. Of data.
You're not just going to wake up one day and
it's not going to change.
Be the person that does it.
Yeah, and it's human behavior. It's not that you're broken. It's everybody. That's why the country's 70% overweight.
Yeah.
Because it's not a you problem. It's an accountability issue. And a great coach expects more out of their client than the client expects of themselves. And that's where the beautiful transformation happens, is when there is that call or there is that weekly check-in, and it is someone that you have respect for, where it's like, if I don't show up, that person's expecting that of me.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to let yourself down. Most people don't like to let someone else down.
Yeah.
That's where a great coach comes in.
I think for me, that's where I tell my clients, like right off the rip, like, hey, I know this is expensive. Yeah. So that's why I'm going to be on your ass about this stuff.
Yeah.
And if like you can go to anybody else and maybe it'd be less, maybe it'd be more, but I generally care about your goals and like what you're trying to hit on a daily basis. And yeah, I think that's where the beauty of coaching. I've just lost my train of thought. Wow. I just looked away.
Well, even to the idea that personal training is somehow expensive, I think is like such an interesting value proposition in the world today. Like, what's a great personal trainer? You're going to spend $300, $400, $500 a month to work with them, right? Like, if you ask me, well, not even if you ask me, if you had a button that you put in front of people and it said for $500, if you push this button, you'll lose 5 pounds this month. Every single person that needs to lose weight is going to find $500 to push the damn button.
Yeah.
For sure.
The difference is they're already negotiating in their head. They're not going to do the work to hit it. That's why you're hiring a coach.
Well, people don't want to invest in something that they're not going to actually use, right? Like you're not going to go buy something at the store that, you're not going to use if it's, a certain price. If it's cheap, you might. But yeah, we talked about this last night a little bit about how I think it's interesting. I think that people see personal training as like a luxury thing. It's like I don't really, anything extra in health and fitness that is not just like maybe a basic gym membership is seen as something that's not really necessary. It's just like, luxury. Like, if I had extra money, then I would get this or I'd do this. And I think that people should really see that as like an entry-level investment. Like when you are starting into this, you should be investing in this because it's going to change the entire process. And it's really what's going to propel you to get started. I think, there's obviously some people out there that can just hop into the gym and figure it out and get after it themselves, but that's a very rare person. The majority of people,
extremely rare.
Yeah, the majority of people are not going to do that.
No. And I'm not a GLP-1 hater, right? I'm not. I think that they have their place and I think they're useful and they're doing a lot of good for a lot of people. But you'll pay, GLP-1s are expensive.
Yeah.
You're going to spend just as much on a GLP-1 as you are on a personal trainer. And all of a sudden, 50% of the population at this point is tinkering with, in the United States, is tinkering with GLP-1s. 5% is doing personal training. 5% of gym users are doing personal training, which means only 25% of the population has a gym membership. So you're talking less than 1% of the United States population works with a personal trainer or has invested in a personal trainer, but we're pushing up towards 50% of the people are using GLP-1s.
Yeah.
It's not an expense issue.
No.
Yeah.
It's not that they can't afford it.
It's a laziness issue.
It's a quick fix.
It's
quick fix and let me just get it done.
Yeah.
And I think it's also the value perception. Like if I'm someone who's been overweight my entire life, right? Like if I'm someone who spent, if I was someone who's sitting here 45 years old and I've been overweight for 20, 25, 30 years, and my perception of personal trainers is a glorified rep counter that someone took a weekend class and they're rude to me and they're showing off their six pack in their social media and that's what it is.
Yeah.
I'm going to go take a GLP-1. That's why I think the value perception is broken. Because I don't think that most people that have an idea of personal training have ever actually had a conversation with a good coach. Because I don't think there's that many of them.
Yeah.
And I think that's where you brought up a great point. That's where I just started, I forget his name. I just started following him. He's just puts on a sign in New York City that says, I'm a personal trainer, ask me a question.
Oh, I love that.
And literally like he's just out in the public and people are just like, oh, like,
That's
hey,
awesome.
like you're a trainer? Like, let me ask you a question. And then like he just answered like off the rip. And so it's like, I don't know, maybe I might do that in downtown Boise.
There you go.
They're going to think you're homeless in downtown Boise.
They're like, what is this guy doing?
Oh, it's fun.
We should actually talk about GLP-1s a little bit. As a personal trainer, what's your take on them? Kendra, I'm going to go you first because I think that, to be fair, I think that society's placed a lot of I think guys and girls have a lot of, I think guys and girls both have a lot of pressure from society to look a certain way.
Yeah.
But obviously over the last 20, 30 years, I think it's been rougher on women than men. I think that's probably fair to say.
Big time.
And so I think the percentage of people that are on GLP-1s highly skews female.
Yeah.
And I think you could probably speak to that in a way that might be more informed than I or Chris.
Yeah.
So from your perspective, how do you feel about them?
I think that I feel like with anything medical, I think that it's hard because I think GLP-1s have a place for people that are truly dealing with, higher medical issues that make it really hard for them to lose weight. But I think it just comes down to that it's a quick fix. I think for years and years and years, people have been searching for something, there's been crazy diets and, do this for 6 weeks and you're going to get abs and things like that. I think that a lot of people just want something fast and they don't want to go do the work. I think that especially for women, people are scared. Women are still scared to lift weights. Like a lot of women, I think we're seeing an increase in women in the gym lifting weights.
Yeah.
But I feel like I train a lot of women every day that are still scared to lift heavy weight because they think that they're going to turn into Arnold Schwarzenegger as soon as they touch a heavy weight. And I think that, you know, they think it's a quick fix and it's fine. And I think something that's really interesting to me is people will think about going to the gym for years and think about working out and thinking about getting in shape for years, and they'll put a lot of thought into it and the time investment and all this stuff, but then they'll just go start taking something without thinking about how it's really going to affect them in the long term. Like a GLP-1, there's still consequences for doing that to your body. And if you're going and taking a weight loss supplement and you're not working out on top of it, you're really not helping your body. Losing weight doesn't always mean you're healthy now, right? Like just because you've lost some fat on your body doesn't automatically mean you're now healthy. And I've actually trained quite a few clients that are on GLP-1s, and one of the issues I see is they'll go be on a GLP-1 for, 6 months or so and they'll lose a lot of weight, but it also affects you in a lot of other ways. You get really fatigued, you feel really sick. And if you haven't been working out during that time period, especially, and you start working out after you get off, you are going to see weight increase. You are going to continue to be really fatigued. You're not going to feel very good. And then those people get scared because they're starting to gain weight again and they just want to get back on that instead of trusting the process. And I really think a lot of it just comes down to people not wanting to do the work of going to the gym. It's a lot of effort, right? Some people don't want to dedicate any time to something that they don't enjoy doing. I think it's a lack of education in our system of teaching people how to take care of themselves. I think people automatically equate looking a certain way with health, and that's not the case. I know a lot of people that look great that are really, really unhealthy. Yeah. And I know some people that might not be the ideal of what, a woman or a man is supposed to look like if they have a perfect physique that are actually really healthy. And so I think that it's a mixture of a lack of education, a little bit of laziness, people not wanting to do the work, and people just wanting a quick fix. And so I think if you're someone who it's not medically necessary for you to get help, I think that it's kind of just a cop-out of you not wanting to put effort into something. And that's a deeper level. And that's another reason why training is so important. A good coach is so important, because what you're really struggling with is the mental aspect of the lifestyle that you're living and not being able to hold yourself accountable and be disciplined. And, I think that that's where most people struggle.
Yeah. I think I look at GLP-1, and my thoughts on this have changed a little bit over the last probably like 2 years, realistically, but because we're just getting more data about them. Yeah. But I look at GLP-1s the same exact way that I look at gastric bypass or some of those medical interventions. Yeah. And that is like a tool in the toolbox that should be used in some extreme cases. Exactly. Like we have a lot of data now showing that, contrary to what Oprah Winfrey wanted to say, like there's no such thing as an obesity gene. There's no such thing as is being genetically, destined to be fat. Yeah. But there's absolutely people who have lower satiety, that have higher hunger hormones, that have lower insulin sensitivity, so they store body fat easier. Yeah. There's absolutely metabolic issues that exist in the world that create more difficult scenarios for people to lose weight. Yeah. And if you're someone who is 40, 50, 60, 70 pounds overweight, and you've tried and failed, and you need a medical intervention to that, I absolutely think that you should consider it as an option. That being said, I think a lot of people are using it as a solution. Yeah. When in reality, what it does is it starts the process. Yeah. Because if you look at the statistics, as someone who's lost over 100 pounds and kept it off for 10, 15 years at this point, if you look at the data around people who have lost significant amount of weight, over 80% of those people gain the weight and put it more back on. Yeah. Because typically it's done through medical intervention. Yeah. And when it is, nothing about your habits change.
Exactly.
You never learn to solve the actual problem. You're treating the symptom, but you're not treating the root cause.
Yeah.
And so I look at GLP-1s very similarly as like, if you want to use them and you need medical help and it's going to help you and it's going to get some wind behind the sails, by all means, do it. But understand that is the start of the journey.
Yeah, that's not going to fix the problem.
It doesn't fix the problem. And even more so from a medical standpoint, if we look at the data around GLP-1 usage and the weight that's lost, and again, this is, I'm citing a study that was from, I don't know, last year. I haven't looked at like updated stuff, so feel free to correct me. But the last one that I read showed that almost 50% of the weight loss from GLP-1 users was lean muscle tissue.
Skeletal muscle mass. Yeah.
And so understand, if you're someone who's on a GLP-1 or looking at that as a solution, your metabolic rate is controlled by the amount of muscle tissue that is on the body. That is the number one user of metabolic, it's the number one driver of metabolic function. Mm-hmm. If you lose muscle, you lose metabolic rate. So what you're doing is you're creating a system where it's harder for you to keep that weight off when you come off of those things. Yep. You're making yourself weaker, you're making your metabolism slower, and you're making your life harder to maintain a healthy lifestyle.
Exactly.
Yep.
Whereas if you get with a good trainer or you get with a good gym and you're going and you're doing resistance training, structured resistance training, not Pilates class. I love Pilates, nothing against it. Not water aerobics, whatever. Resistance, structured resistance training with a progressive overload. You can stave that off and you can maintain that muscle tissue. Yeah. And if you, and so I think when GLP-1s first got introduced, I think personal trainers were a little angry and a little bit sort of like of the mindset of, this is going to be a negative impact for personal trainers because people are going to start using this as like a cheap, easy way out. Yeah. All GLP-1 does is increase the need for a personal trainer. Yeah. Because you got to get your ass in the gym and start lifting some weight, or else you might as well kiss your muscle tissue goodbye. You're going to look like a melted candle and you're going to have a way harder time keeping weight off when you come off of them.
I call GLP-1s as the new medical version of hydroxycut in like the 2010s. Yeah. Because like I've had so many clients that were on
I took that, by the way, when I was like 17.
Did you really?
Old. Yeah, dude.
Oh,
I almost did. I almost bit the bug. But it's kind of like that where it's like you're losing weight. You're able to lose, say, 50, 60 pounds in a span of, say, 4 months. Like hydroxycut was insane.
Yeah, they were putting meth in it.
Yeah, it was nuts. And then you hop off, but like again, like you were saying, like the habits don't change. Yeah. And you just, if not, you're gonna gain double that weight. And it's kind of like the same thing with GLP-1s where I have a client right now that's on it, and I always make sure I'll text her like, hey, just a reminder, get your protein in today. Yeah. Because it's like, if not, then she's not gonna get that protein. Yeah. And going off like that specific study of like losing skeletal muscle mass, I have her doing 3 times a week of strength training, so making sure she's on top of that. I see her twice a week. Have I noticed her fatigue levels like start to increase 100%? Yeah. So that's where I'm like, hey, make sure like you're getting sunlight.
Do you know what the mechanism for that is, by the way, with GLP-1? Like, what is it what is the mechanism that it's impacting energy levels?
You know, from a physiological standpoint, I don't know. I haven't done like it's such a deep dive on GLP-1s that much, but I have just seen that study. Yeah.
I think this kind of like goes back to what we talked about for me last night of fitness not being a trend, but it is becoming a trend. I feel like, without social media, a lot of things that people think are popular and people get into, they probably wouldn't do. Like fitness and health at its core is very simple. Like move your body, eat as clean food as you can, get sunlight, don't sit on your butt all day, don't look at your screen. Like health and fitness is very simple, and the only reason these things even become popular is because we have social media now, and we have, TV ads that everything pops up on. No one would even know what a GLP-1 is. If we took away cell phones and social media right now, no one would be like, oh, I shouldn't get outside and move my body. I should go do a GLP-1. No one would even know what that is. Yeah. And so I think that it's really hard sometimes in industries like this with social media because things blow up so fast. And then 5 years later, you find out it's actually shit for you and it's not good. Like the keto diet, right? Like that thing blew up like crazy. People were selling keto I worked at Dutch Bros in college when keto became popular, and we literally had a drink that was for keto diet. We would have people come through and order a 24-ounce latte keto, and it would be all heavy cream.
Yeah, like 600 calories.
But that people don't do their own research. They just hop on the next trend because everyone else is doing it and it's working for someone. So they think it's going to work for them without really thinking about the repercussions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think, again, we talked about at length last night. I'm an optimist, right? Like I tend to think the best of people for the most part.
Me and Chris are not.
You guys are not.
Depends on the context.
Yeah. Having like, I don't know. We talked about like the difference between sympathy and empathy last night, and I'm not typically an empath, but when it comes to people who are overweight, I am, and it's because I've been in those shoes. Yeah. And I think, I genuinely think it's not a matter of, I think most people are willing to do the work. They're willing to make the changes, but they're a victim of consumer culture. Yes. And they think they're broken. And so they're looking for the fix. They're looking for the next diet. Maybe this is the one that fixes me. Maybe this 6-week program is the one that fixes me. They think they're broken when in reality, they're a victim of consumer culture where they're constantly being exploited. Like, I don't think this conspiracy theory, I don't think the medical industry or the you know, I actually think RFK is trying to do a pretty good job, but I don't think in general we want to, as a country, I don't think the medical system is trying to fix the obesity crisis. No. Because the obesity, it makes them money. It makes a ton of money. Yeah. So like, I honestly think pharma and the food industry and all these, like, look what happened with the food pyramid. Oh my gosh, you go back and look at the original, if you look at the food pyramid, that was the biggest, not the new one. The new one's pretty legit. Yeah. I have a few qualms with it from a scientific standpoint, but for the most part, the new one's legit. The old one was the biggest marketing ploy in the history of marketing ploys. Yeah. And I really do think when it comes to the obesity issue, like even Oprah getting up there and saying this whole thing about an obesity gene, she's an investor in a GLP-1. She has financial gain. She's pushing these things. You have people like Venus Williams, who's one of the, or Serena Williams.
Which is insane.
Serena Williams is one of the greatest female athletes of our entire life.
Yeah.
Shout out Tia, because I think Tia Claire Toomey is the
Tia. She is my probably one of my favorite humans.
Different conversation we might get into, but you had Serena Williams pushing a GLP-1. She has her husband is like an investor in one of the in one of the top GLP-1s. Yeah. There's so much money being made off of this stuff. It's the same shit that happened with the COVID vaccine. The COVID vaccine, was it helpful for some people? Absolutely. Just like GLP-1s. But should everyone take it? Absolutely not. No. But follow the money trail, man. And so I think that most people are willing to do the work that it requires, but they're so convinced that they're broken because there was too much money to be made by convincing people that they're broken, and the problem's actually more complicated than it is.
And going off of that, and from like a coaching perspective, that's where a lot of coaches feed off of, like, for their like programs, because there are certain methodologies, I'm not going to name them, that say like, oh, you're broken, you have to go with this specific program.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
And it's like, people are like, wait, I think I actually might be broken.
Everyone
and it's
can
like,
do the same thing, actually.
And it's like, if you look at certain like fitness assessments, it goes off that too.
Yep.
That's a big selling point in commercial gyms. Yep. Like the functional movement screen. Yep. It's like, yes, an overhead squat can test some things, but that's only really tested an overhead squat.
Yeah.
And so I think that's like a big selling point, is like with making sure like, hey, you're not broken.
Yeah.
You're not broken. No. We just got to get you moving your body.
Yep.
At the end of the day.
Yeah. That's the most fascinating thing to me. And I'll like, it's a big driver for the protein spot, is trying to scream this message from the rooftop, which is physiologically, obesity and weight loss is extremely well understood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It comes from an energy surplus. Mm-hmm. It's that simple.
Yeah.
I know it's not sexy. I know it's not nice to hear. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But 95% of people are overeating and undermoving.
Yeah.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if someone's telling you other than that, they're probably trying to sell you something.
Yeah.
If they're trying to, like, are there extreme outliers with thyroid issues? Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's less than 1% of the population.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone that can't lose weight has a thyroid issue. If you think you're in a calorie deficit but you're gaining weight, you're probably not in a calorie deficit.
And going off that, it's just it's so funny when it's like, I've had a few client check-ins in the past. It's like, hey, so I noticed that like your weight hasn't dropped down. Are you making sure you're hitting your calorie count? And it's like, they're like, oh yeah, I have. And then it's like, then we just keep going. like the next thing. They're like, oh, but my thyroid. I was like, your thyroid? You didn't tell me about that.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, no, you're just making up excuses.
Yeah. I actually had a client last year that I had to check in with, and we were a few weeks into programming, and she was just not doing anything. She wasn't doing all of her workouts. She wasn't tracking her stuff. She wasn't doing the weekly habit tracker I sent over. And I hopped on a call with her to figure out what was going on. And the first thing she asked me was, shouldn't I be seeing some results right now? And I was like, I'm going to say this with love. Yeah. You can't see results for work you didn't do.
Oh, hit them.
And I feel like that's another thing. It's like a lot of people don't give something the time it needs to work. Like a lot of people will do something for, they'll work out for a couple of weeks, or they'll eat healthy for a couple of weeks. And if they don't see something right away, they're like, oh, this isn't working.
Yep.
So why am I going to do this?
Yeah.
Or another big thing I see, I'm sure you probably have seen this with clients too, is like people will be doing really good and then they'll fall off for like a week. And then they're like, oh, like I've ruined everything. I've lost all my progress. So I'm just going to give up.
Yeah.
And it's like, we've all done that. Like I've had times where I've fallen off from being consistent, where I've eaten whatever I want. Like just pick it back up and start again. Like it's not the end of the world. And I think again, like everything we've talked about today really comes back to like I think that the biggest value a personal trainer has, like a good coach, isn't the physical program they can write you to go get strong and get healthy. It's how they can help you shift your mindset. Because at the end of the day, like everything we've talked about comes down to like your mind, like your brain, like how you're thinking about things, how you're processing things, how you're making decisions. And I think that that's like if you're working with a coach that is really good at what they do and they're also passionate and actually care about their clients, that is going to be like a top driver for what you are getting from them, and what they're teaching you is going to be mindset. It's not just going to be teaching you how to do an RDL. Mm-hmm. It's going to be teaching you how to get up in the morning on a day that you're tired and you feel like shit and you don't want to go to the gym, and teaching you how to go anyways.
Yep. Yeah, it's all consumerism. Like that's the interesting thing, is that like we were even talking. I was just looking up trying to see like what percentage of people actually have celiac disease, because we were talking about like the gluten-free. Mm-hmm. And it's like, because we have a handful of people who are consumers at the Protein Spot who like have celiac disease, and so we were trying to get like oatmeal is this one that like is baffling to me, but it's a perfect example. Oatmeal naturally does not have gluten in it, right? But a lot of times oatmeal is processed in plants that also process wheat, therefore there's cross-contamination. Yeah. So gluten-free oats are literally double the price of normal oatmeal. And so like you have people who like people started, as soon as like the gluten intolerance isn't real. Celiac disease is real. Gluten intolerance is not a real thing. As soon as you started like getting people who were catching wind of that and thinking they had something wrong with them, all of a sudden the demand for gluten-free ingredients went through the roof. So they started putting gluten-free on everything and upcharging for it. Now oatmeal that has no gluten, even though oatmeal is naturally gluten-free, double the price. Yeah. It's consumerism.
I mean, I feel like we went through the same thing a couple years before the gluten-free thing with milk. Like, obviously, a lot of people are lactose intolerant and can't have milk, but I feel like we went through a huge push of, like, oat milk and almond milk and all these things. Yeah. And then, I used to drink oat milk. I was like, oh, this is great. Like, it's not as fattening, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then I started realizing I didn't feel good after I drank it. And then a bunch of studies came out for women that oat milk is really hard for your body to like digest. Yeah. And it's actually really not good for you. And I think it's just, again, it's that, I think we've all fallen prey to the consumerism thing at one point or another, because it's hard not to get sucked in when it's all over the place. And I think most people are really looking for something better. Like most of us are looking for better options, but it's hard not to fall for that stuff when it's being pushed everywhere, because you're like, oh, finally a better option, when most of the time it's not.
And the new one now, and it's ironic because I literally own a restaurant called the Protein Spot. Is protein
and everything.
Yeah. Protein's like the new buzzword.
It really is.
And it happened in like the last 6 months. Yeah. Like it was after we opened. I was not part of that trend, right? But like I literally bought chicken, like those air fried like chicken nuggets that you can buy.
Yep.
The new ones are labeled protein bites. I'm like, it's chicken.
Yeah.
And they're called protein bites. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
we are going down another rabbit hole.
Yeah, I forget which
Pop-Tarts.
brand. Yeah, Pop-Tarts. Yeah, that's
Pop-Tarts,
what it
yeah.
is.
They have
like
protein
12, like 12
Pop-Tarts.
grams of protein.
For 400 calories.
Yeah.
But they put protein on the box. I actually, RFK, you know what? I'm sure RFK listens to this podcast. RFK, we need to have some language introduced as a bill that you cannot label something as being high protein if it doesn't have at least 8 grams of protein per 100 calories. Mm-hmm. That should be like the new thing.
Yeah.
Because nothing drives me crazier than when I see like a protein bar and I grab it and it has like 8 grams of protein.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And it's
But
like
it's like-
15 grams of fat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like 300 calories.
Yeah.
We're
20
big
grams
fans.
of added sugar.
So
Yeah.
honestly, like I used to wish as a trainer, one of my favorite movies was Men in Black. And like they had the flash
The
thing that
Yep.
would like
Yes.
make people forget everything
That'd
that
be
they know.
great to have.
So
I want
I-
that all the time. for
As we
lunch.
transition to the end of this conversation, what I'm gonna put you in the scenario as a personal trainer. You're taking on a new client. The first thing that you do is you take your little memory thing and you flash them, and they forget everything they think they know about health and fitness, because that's what 90% of people should do, is forget everything that you think you know because you only know it because someone's trying to sell you some shit.
Yeah.
What actually matters? What are tangible, trackable things that actually matter? What would be like a get started program for someone? 30 days. They want to see the most amount of progress they can in 30 days. What are the things that actually matter, and what should they spend their money on?
Are we going from a minimalistic standpoint? Or
Minimalistic.
Just
I want to
Yeah.
save people money, man.
yeah. From a minimalistic standpoint, I think the tangibles that matter the most.
Or habits. Like
Or
what,
habits.
Yeah, whatever you want to, however you want to chop it up.
Let's keep it simple. The big one is one.
NAD plus. No, just kidding. No, just kidding.
Steroids.
Yeah, steroids.
One is getting daily movement. Everyone says
Okay.
get 10,000 steps a day. I think that's a big stretch. I think at least 8,000, because a lot of people don't even get 4,000 steps. So let's make it small. Let's start with 8,000.
Okay.
Let's start off with a habit like that.
Yep.
Getting, I would say, half of your body weight. Divide that in half. So say if you're 200 pounds, and I would say for half your body weight, have that in water. That's just to maintain hydration.
Okay.
So if you're
It's
200
like ounces.
ounces of water.
Got
yeah.
it.
So 100 ounces of water, see, like that. And strength train at least 2 times a week. Just to start. If this is someone brand new,
Yeah.
2 times a week of strength training.
Yep.
You'd either be like 1 upper body day, 1 lower body day, or 2 full body days, which I typically recommend is like a full body split for if someone's training 2 times a week.
Okay. Kendra, what about you?
I would say like the number one most important thing is just consistency that's realistic for you. So something that you can get yourself to do every single week that you know that you can stick to, that's not going to be overwhelming, because that's going to push you in the right direction. So like Chris said, starting with small habits, like a big one that I think a lot of people would benefit from is being more intentional about the food that they're eating, cutting out fast food, and really trying to eat as close to whole ingredients as you can, whole foods. You're going to feel better. It's not even just about how unhealthy the food is for you, but you're really going to feel better, and you're going to notice a difference. Making sure that you're drinking water. Like Chris said, I think half your body weight in ounces a day is a good start to that. Bring your water with you everywhere you go. Don't leave it behind. If it's next to you, you're more likely to grab it. And then choosing a movement every week that you can achieve. If that's 2 days of weights, great, go do 2 days of weights. If that's going for a 20-minute walk in the morning, go for a 20-minute walk. But start with small habits that you can keep consistent, because the problem is people will overshoot what they need to do because everything's so complicated now. You should do this, and you should do this, and you should do this. When really it's simple. It's the lifestyle you have and the habits you have. If you can start small and stick to something for a month, you're going to start to get this belief in yourself and this confidence, like I do what I say I'm going to do. And then you're going to be able to just continue stacking. It's like a habit stacking thing, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people start too big, and then if they fall short of that, they just give up because you don't feel good about yourself. And I think that when you set an unrealistic goal, like the chances are you probably are going to fall short, because you're going from saying, you never work out, and then you're going to say you're going to work out 7 days a week. Well, that's not realistic, because you don't work out right now.
Yeah.
And so I think having some sort of system where you can track what you're doing to hold yourself accountable, and just starting with small habits and holding yourself accountable to those habits every single week is like the jump start on getting yourself to just continue pushing and see results.
Yeah, I think like, again, we're talking about personal trainers and the value of a coach. I think that's where I would start.
Yeah.
Reach out to a coach, hire a trainer. If you're someone who struggled with it, you're not all of a sudden going to flip a switch and be some disciplined individual.
No.
Hire a coach, hire a personal trainer. But to me, the two most important things is daily movement. And it doesn't have to be going to the gym. It doesn't have to be exercises. It could be walking when you're getting started. I don't care. But I'm a big data guy. I'm a numbers guy. Get a $10 pedometer, or most people have a smartwatch. Most people's phones track their steps.
Yeah.
No, figure out your steps. See where you are for a 3-day average, and set a goal. And you should absolutely. I think everyone can hit 8,000 to 10,000 easy. I think that's like a foundational habit. We're too sedentary as a population. Yeah. So everyone should be taking 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day. It's not that hard. Like just, if anything, it gets you to break away and go get some steps in. So set that as like a first primary mover. Move your body. Yeah. Second one would be becoming aware of dietary intake, like in some form or fashion. I'm a huge fan of a food diary. There's too many digital options now. Now we literally, with ChatGPT, you can take a picture of your food and say, how many calories is this? And it can give you a pretty close estimation. Yeah. You have no excuse not to be at least aware of caloric intake so that you understand where you are, because as a society, we have two main problems. Number one, we've become overly sedentary because everything's within arm's reach. Yeah. And most of us work sitting down 99% of the time. And two, our access to food is more than it's ever been, and it's way too easy to get things. I can have donuts I could literally have donuts on this table in 20 minutes without moving, right? Like that, we're never meant to have that access to food. And so we don't know how to control that. Yeah. Like we just don't. We're not good at controlling things. So it's like what is it called? NEAT. That wasn't as a coach, like non-exercise activity, I don't know, whatever the acronym is for that, but like non-exercise movement. So figure out your steps, figure out your calories. If you fix those, 90% of people would hit better.
And there's a specific website. It's called TDE, TotalDailyEnergyExpenditure.com, where you can actually like plug in like your weight, your age, your height. And then what if you want?
It'll give you like an estimation.
It'll give you an estimation of like your total calories, and you can switch it between like if you want a low carb, high protein. However, it's kind of crazy.
Most of your wearables will do it too. Yeah. Like if you have a Garmin, Apple Watch, any of those, you can look up like total daily energy expenditure, and it'll give you an estimate of it based on how much you move.
And that's like one thing too with like a lot of these watches. I'm going off a side tangent now. Is a lot of these watches are typically inaccurate. Yeah. But that's the thing. It's like the more access the general public has, the more inaccurate it's going to be. But which is fine though, because I say it's fine because of the fact like at least you're consistently inaccurate to where you can reach a goal. Right. Yeah. I'd rather have that than just be like, no, I want the most precise thing in the world. I have to do this.
Well, I also think it's one of those things where it's like progress over perfection. Like you might eat an extra 5 ounces of rice and go like, those little things, or when you're getting started especially, like it doesn't matter. Like just having the habit of looking at what you're doing is going to help you. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, again, it's like that. It's the mentality. It's that mindset. It's holding yourself accountable. It's being consistent. It's building that trust with yourself that you are going to do what you say you're going to do. Because I think that's where a lot of people go wrong when they're starting out, is they set too high of goals and then they miss out on something, and then they lose that trust in themselves because they're like, oh, I said I was going to do this and I didn't. So like, I guess I'm not the kind of person that like shows up and goes to the gym. I guess I'm not the kind of person that, eats healthy when I say I'm going to eat healthy. And you build this like subconscious view of yourself of like, oh, well, I'm just not the person that does that. And if you tell yourself that, well, you're not going to be that person because you're telling yourself that you're not.
Alex, give me a time check. Where are we at?
We are over.
Oh, we're over. Let's go quick then. Let's wrap this up here quickly. We got a little thing coming up at the Protein Spot, right?
We do.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Dinner with a coach.
Yeah, dinner with a coach.
Dinner with a coach. What is it? When are we doing it? What are we doing?
Oh, when are we doing it?
I don't think we've said when.
We haven't set a date yet.
We haven't set a date yet.
Let's set one.
Shoot.
Is date TBD?
Yeah.
Date is TBD.
Date is TBD, but within the next 8 weeks?
8 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, within the next 8 weeks. Yeah. What are we doing?
Basically, we're going to have dinner with the coach with us two. And then we're going to have like a Q&A, but we're going to kind of like what we're just doing today, where we're kind of talking about our experiences.
Sweet.
And can fire any questions you have. I think what we're gonna do, we're gonna have like a survey where it's like people can write down.
So we're gonna sell some
Yeah.
tickets. We're gonna have it'll include dinner at the protein spot, so we'll have food available for people. So we'll have like a special menu just for this event, and it's really geared for people who are new or looking to get started on a fitness journey, not just like another meetup of like a bunch of fit people who it's already part of their lifestyle.
Yeah.
We're specifically going to tailor the event to people who are new, like really looking to get started.
Yeah. You're going to leave with a program to help you get jump started.
Yep. Free program's going to come with it. Free program, free dinner, and it's going to be like a fun little Q&A to just like go through and like share experiences and talk about like where to get started and
Ask
let people
questions.
ask questions. Where are you at now? And like draw the line in between.
Yep.
Cool. Love it. Before we get out of here, how can people reach you guys?
One is through my Instagram. Our both our Instagrams.
Yeah.
IG.
Yeah. OIG.
Good old
Yeah.
IG.
Good old IG. So if they want to slide up in the DMs.
Slide up in the DMs. Yep. My handle is ChrisJChan_.
Mine is Ken.Denae.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't believe we landed on the moon?
No, I don't.
Give me the
it's a little
quick
BS.
give me the quick
Oh yeah.
give me the
I don't
quick
know, I
synopsis.
just-
Have you seen Devon Island? Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Devon Island's in northern Canada. It is basically like where it looks like the NASA space station. It's the exact same thing. And if you put up like Devon Island, where if you look up on Google Maps, and then if you pull up how it looked on Mars, or this is like Mars specifically, it looks the exact same.
Yeah.
I've seen quite a
You look that
few like people debunk the video and like things that were
The video
they, like,
looks sus.
They like edited
Yeah.
it wrong.
The video looks sus. It looks like a piece of paper, like kind of like
Yeah.
like it doesn't have any
Exactly.
the movement. The movement
Yeah.
to it's not legit.
Yeah, it's like why was there
and
wind
there's
too?
like weird shadows. I also just feel like that we have like things floating around in our sky. You know what I mean? That we've put up there, and it's been this long, and we like haven't gone back to the moon and done a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Technology back then, it just seems a little fishy.
Yeah, I agree. it is a little strange. Like
little
as
out
I've gotten
there.
older, I've watched the videos a couple times and I've been like, yeah, something ain't right here.
Yeah.
The videos look a little questionable.
Yeah.
What would be the motivation of faking it though?
To say that you did it.
yeah.
Okay.
I think
I mean, what motivates people that want power?
I think another conspiracy that I have is that a lot of the aliens that we quote unquote see
yeah.
are actually deep in our ocean.
Oh, like in the ocean versus being up there.
Yeah.
Well, did you see Obama just admitted there was aliens were legit, like on a podcast. He just like straight up said, yeah, they're real.
Yeah, and they're not in Area 51.
Yeah, but don't pay attention to this. We're bombing countries.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the aliens.
Yeah. And apparently there's like a huge waterbed that's beneath like South Dakota, and that's where they like spit out from.
That's where they spit out from. I'm dead. I don't know.
I've seen like three huge alien
here's my thing.
Did you
documentaries.
stay up late on
The
YouTube?
universe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The universe is like supposedly just goes on forever. You're telling me you think we're the only ones here?
Oh yeah, we're definitely not.
Not
Look,
likely.
Look, we're just trying to make people a little healthier. All right, like like there's aliens.
Stop watching
We're bombing
conspiracies and
people.
get your ass to the
Get off
gym.
social media.
Yeah.
Go to the gym. Hire a coach.
Yeah.
Eat better food. Awesome. Love it. All right. Anything else you guys want to roll through? That's pretty much wrapping it up.
I don't think so.
We'll have to run it back.
We got to run it back with the trends.
Oh yeah, the
Oh, yeah.
trends.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I mean, we can do it really quick.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's think of the trends. All right, blind rank. Let's blind rank a handful of trends. We'll get out of here.
Okay.
Alex, you got some? I mean, I can spitball. Let's go this one. All right, we talked about GLP-1s. So we're not going to go that route, but blind rank these fitness trends by real fitness professionals. Let's go cold plunges.
For me, that's gonna. How many are we doing for starters so we know where to put it on the ranking list? Like 5?
Just give it a grade. S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier,
I'm gonna
D
go-
tier, F tier,
I'm gonna go C tier.
C tier,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go D,
D tier on the cold plunge.
especially for women.
Okay, fair enough. GLP-1.
I put that as a B tier.
Okay. I knew you were gonna be. I knew you were gonna be lower on that. I love that you are though.
I think for me personally, this shouldn't be a trend. I think anything medical shouldn't be a trend, so I'm gonna give it an F, only because I think that should be a decision you make because it's medically necessary. I don't think it's a decision you should make because someone on Instagram is telling you to do it.
Fair.
So I'm gonna say F.
I'll probably lower that to a C.
C tier.
Yeah.
Hyrox.
Hyrox, I think it is, for what it is, I call it an S
Chris, you're
tier.
the Hyrox guy in
Did you
Boise,
say F?
dude.
S.
I
I
thought he said F too.
I give it S tier.
What's an S tier?
S tier is like
S tier is like
the top.
the go.
Here I am thinking A, B, C.
I know.
Yeah. I call it S tier.
Okay.
Yeah. Just because of the fact like it's inclusive for everybody, and you just look at even like our Hyrox group at Casual, there's so many different
much
people
fun.
of
Dude, so
different
much
fitness
fun.
backgrounds.
Yeah.
And it's like accessible for anybody to do anywhere.
Yep.
And I think that's like the beauty of it. Do I think it's a little cringe when it comes, this is me getting like hot take now.
Yeah, hybrid
name.
rock star.
Yeah. The name,
Yeah.
but it's also with like the dating thing, the dating
Oh God, yeah,
app.
the surf
Oh,
dating.
yeah, I forgot there was a
The surf
It's
dating
honestly
and
so
yeah,
funny.
so it's like I understand like from like a business standpoint of Hyrox to like
Smart.
hop on these,
Smart.
so they're great at that.
They're great.
Yeah, I'd say C.
That's crazy.
I'm
That
gonna,
is low.
Listen, this is why I'm saying C though.
You're such a pessimist. I'm finding out so much about
Stop,
you.
listen.
All right, I'm
It's
leaving.
because of the inconsistency. So it's not, I guess it's not necessarily Hyrox itself. It's like the judging inconsistency, like that sort of stuff. But
Okay.
if I'm
like
going
as a
from a
whole,
value, I'd probably say like A to F. It's like my B, because you get a lot out of it. You get community, you get cardio, you get strength, you're learning new, I don't know. I feel like there's just so much you get out of it. It's not just about the physical aspect of it.
You're giving it a
You
B
get to
plus?
compete.
No, she gave it a C, dude.
No, I said B.
Oh, you upgraded.
No, I said B.
Oh, okay.
I thought you said C.
I did too.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to run that back because I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
Well,
Run the film back.
Run it back.
I said if we're going from a standpoint of like consistency, C. But if we're going from like value of the actual like sport, I would say B.
All right, hydration supplements.
I give that a D.
C.
Okay.
I think that
Depend on what supplements though.
it also
like
depends
which
on
hydration
diet.
supplements.
Kono. Shout out, Alex.
Yeah.
Kono's
love
is,
Kono.
is actually good. I'll give that a B.
I would say you don't need them,
Yeah.
but if your diet is shit and you're not getting what you need out of your diet, like take a supplement. It's okay.
Yeah, I think they just became like overly trendy a little
From
bit.
like a hydration supplement standpoint, I would give it a D because of the fact like not everyone needs that amount of sodium.
Yeah.
First
Some
of
people
all.
take too many
Yeah.
of them also. You
Yeah.
don't need to
Like,
be
you-
taking 3 of those a day.
Like even like say like I'm not gonna name the brand, but that has like 1,000 milligrams of sodium. That is a lot of sodium for
yeah,
one
they
specific
sponsor
individual.
podcasts. We might get them one day. You know? Don't take
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't name drop.
Yeah.
Can't name drop it.
Pilates.
Yeah. I give that from an introductory level standpoint, just because I don't train someone that has done Pilates, they own a Legree studio, so it's like I see it from her perspective. I would give that a B tier.
Okay, that's pretty good. Oh man, dude.
I
The
would say
pessimist over here.
Dude,
man.
Kendra ranking fitness things is like Dave Portnoy rating pizza.
Yeah.
Like if she gives it anything above like a D, that's like a win for them.
Yeah.
I would give Pilates a C. I think a lot of people don't know what Pilates is for. I think a lot of people think Pilates is going to get you the same thing as weight training, and that's not true.
Progressive overload.
That's S tier
A.
for sure.
Yeah, whatever the top is.
Whatever.
S tier.
Whatever the hell he's saying.
Protein spot.
S tier.
Yeah.
Cafe Zupas.
Cafe Zupas.
Shout out Lonnie.
Damn.
Damn.
Whatever the lowest ranking
Yeah.
humanly possible is.
Awesome. All right. Well, appreciate you guys. Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excited for the next one. We'll run it
Oh
back.
yeah. We
Yeah.
got to.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys next time. Hey, thanks for tuning in to the Spot Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe so you never miss a conversation. And if you're local to Boise, stop by the Protein Spot and grab a meal, a smoothie, or just come say hi. We'd love to see you. Until next time, stay fueled, stay strong, and remember, healthy doesn't have to be complicated. We'll catch you on the next episode of The Spot.